Hello? Hey, who? What's up? Nothing, B. Just watching the game, having a bud. What's up with you?
Nothing. Watching the game, having a bud.
True.
What's up? What's up? Yo, who's that?
Yo, pick up the phone. Hello?
What's that?
What's up? Yo, where's Dookie?
Yo, Duke. Yo.
What's up?
What's that?
Hold on. Hello? So what's up, B?
Watching the game, having a bud.
True.
This summer, retirement is a state of mind.
What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? Most of the Coors commercial came on like right after. Let me turn this down a little bit. Like right after I just did a Budweiser thing. Gee, you think that's planned? I didn't plan that. Right? That's just how the internet works. Like it just knows stuff. It knows what you're saying. What's up? What's up? Let me take this off. I don't need this. What's up, fellas? Yeah, I just put my makeup on, Jamie. Yep. Final touches on my makeup, right? My gender-affirming makeup. I wanted to make sure I affirmed my gender. Whoa! God, it's so wrong. So that's a Budweiser commercial. Okay. I know. I don't want to keep going down that road, but I couldn't help it, right? Because, you know, that to me is a Budweiser commercial. Oh, the older one. There's another one with the ladies, the mamas, the old grandmas, whatever. They're doing the same damn thing. Yeah, that didn't look good because the video quality was just, you know, I don't know, 720p, 480. You know, that's kind of, God, it's got to be like 15 years old. I didn't look. Let me see if I can see the date on that. I don't think they give you the date on it. Look, it already went to a different thing. Let's see, Budweiser, what up commercial, 11 years ago when they put it on YouTube. What's up? What are you guys doing? Right? So I'm like hanging out today. I'm exhausted. I'm shot. So I wanted to rest a little bit. I got this shirt is like blaring white because I'm looking at a white monitor right now. All right, there we go. That's better. Yeah, I figured I would just jump right into the action tonight, right? Come on in. The water's fine. I want to show you guys some stuff. Well, let me get set up. Let me set up. So, let's see. KCB says, kicking back this evening. Yeah, good, because you've been starting up all kind of mowers lately. I've been seeing your shorts. It's good. It's good. You must have some collection now. Are you selling any of them? I almost sold. This thing's out. I almost sold that Jacobson. Let's take a look at the Jacobson. I'll tell you the story. So this, let's see. Let me bring it back up. Let me bring it up. Let me see. I'm going to bring it. I guess I'll go backwards. I'll work backwards to the story. I think would be easier. Let me, because this is all outtakes. So this is just basically. Yeah, we'll bring this monitor up. Maybe I'll bring that monitor up in a minute. So this is all basically outtakes. Not many. What you mean? You don't have that many mowers now? Did you sell them all, or just? Let's see. All right, yeah. We'll just run through this. So this is the Jacobsen-HomeLite. Look at that thing. Right, and I didn't even finish cleaning it or anything yet. Oh, is nothing selling? Yeah, I'm selling some stuff here, but it's because the economy is in the toilet, and you have to drop the prices. Meanwhile, I was watching a guy. Here, let me put me on, so I can appropriately complain. I was watching. I don't remember who the guy is. Can I find? I'm gonna see if I can go find him. was just watching a guy. Let me go to Arch's Garage, and I think if I go back through my history, let's see. I want to see if I can find him. I want to show you this. I'm like amazed, right? And give this guy some kudos. If I can find him, I should be able to find him. I don't know. It's a short. Let's see if I can find him. I don't know. Maybe where. Maybe the short posted on something different, but I don't remember. Oh, wait. Here it is. Hank's Garage. Yeah. Let me set it up for us.
So I just picked up.
Hold on. Let me pause it. Let me put my headset back on. What did I just do with my headset? Because I got to be able to hear it. Check this out. We'll put him over here. Go back to right monitor. And let's see. Make sure we can hear him. I'm going to have to run through it twice because I let it start already.
Evening, fixed it this morning, and just put it up. And 10 minutes after I put it up, got a message, somebody wants it. The only thing that was wrong with it was the prior owner had hit something with the blade, a rock or a stump, who knows, but bent the hell out of the blade. Crankshaft was perfect, but it broke the flywheel key, so I changed that out, and runs good now. Nothing wrong with it. Put it up for $125. They're going for a lot of money in my area right now. New ones with a bag, $350. There it is. Just sold it. Not too bad. Didn't even want to talk me down some.
Let me bring me back. So that's Hank's Garage. Let me move this down. And so if you missed the first part, what he said is he put a flywheel key in it. Right, found it. And he just put a flywheel clean in it. And you notice he didn't clean the bag, he didn't do anything to it. And he sold it, what did he say, $125? Right? Casey says he's done with walk behinds, right? So he's got still about, what, 15 lawnmowers laying around? So this guy just sold it for like $1.25, right? I could probably get $1.25 here, maybe. But I have to sell them all cleaned up and done. Like, I got to make a mint. This guy, all he did, you know, I'm not saying it's a good or a bad thing, but all he did was just make it run. Didn't clean it in there. That thing's a mess. It's disgusting. I have one in the back I'm going to probably put on the channel, another one. But I'm going to clean it up, make it nice. So I got one for sale now. Let's see if we can find it. We'll back up on this. Hold on. Is it this one? Yeah, let me show you this one. And so this is it. So it's a 22-inch with the older it says 4 horsepower, but, that's the older one. And I got it good and clean, got it running good. 4.5. Wow. I doubt it's 4.5, but maybe 22-inch cut. And it's clean. People offer me $40, $50. Meanwhile, the ad says firm. Right? And I explain in the ad, I got to buy these things, and then I clean them up, and I give them a full tune-up. A tune-up around here is like almost $100. That's just for the plug, the oil, a sharpening, a filter. That's it. So these people are out of their minds, right? I know things are tough, but, and KCB says, price is dropping too fast. Lack of rain, grass, and going dormant. Yeah, well, it's been raining here for the most part. It's kind of lousy out today. It's sticky in here. I didn't get a chance to pull the AC cover off. But it's been raining on and off. It's dark. It's supposed to be dark the next few days, right? Possibly even sometime into late next week. So who the hell knows what's going on? But where that guy is, right, they're getting good money for it. Here, a lawnmower like that, which is less than the cost of a tune-up. And I've got people basically offering me, $50, $60. And so I'm not going to take that, all right, because it doesn't pay to do it. right? I don't work for free, and I don't work for favors for people I don't know. This isn't charity, Arch's Charity Garage, right? So, help me to go broke, and this way I can do work for you for free, and you don't have to appreciate what I do. The thing is they're not going to find a lawnmower better than that, cheaper than that, right? They're just not. So some of these idiots are probably looking to resell it. It says, is that the same lawnmower I saw when I went over there? TJ says. I don't remember. I don't think so. I think when you were here, it was that nice Craftsman that I just sold. Do I have pictures of that? I don't know. I might have pictures of that. If I do, I don't know what I did with them. I took pictures. Is this it? No, this is something else. Yeah, check this one out. This one sold recently. This is a nice one. Maybe, is this one of them? All cleaned up, right? Ready to go. Got the handle on. Stay tuned, because one more trick, and then I'll go test it and make sure that the that one's nice. Here we go. Always got to have that compressor going. You got to make sure that the transmission is adjusted. A little bit of dirt there. Let's see. So this is it. I just threw a little clear on it, just quick. I do that, but look at nice personal pace. I went over this machine. Oh wait, here's a. And this one, the story with this one, yeah, it came out nice. Was the guy I know the guy. He's the brother of my neighbor's wife. And his father brought over a machine along with his son's machine, and I fixed both of them, and the father picked up his. And the guy, I guess his son, the guy never bothered calling me. Like months went by, like a month or so went by. It was like, early drop off. He needed to have his lawn cut or whatever. He was complaining he didn't have any money. No, you got to fire the lawn contractor kind of thing. So I went over to the machine, I fixed it up, made it nice. And I tried to, I didn't have his phone number, so I tried calling his father. I left a message with him. I'm like, leave me his phone number or give him my phone number, have him call me. Didn't hear from him. So what I did was I just kind of I did a quick service on it. And let me bring me back. I just did a quick service on it. But then, since he didn't call me, and it was like 2 months, it was like an early start. And I didn't hear from him. He's an adult. He knows what to do. So after 2 months, I'm like, well, you commissioned me to fix your machine. I could have worked on something else that made money. I worked on this machine. I didn't make any money. He didn't pick it up. He won't contact me. You're an adult. Well, after 2 months goes by, I sold it. I cleaned it up and sold it. I think I got like $160 for that machine, which around here is not bad. Like right now, like a push lawnmower isn't really going to sell, Yeah, the one that TJ's talking about, I don't know. I could have sworn I took pictures of it. Oh, I did. Yeah, it's a little ways back. It's a ways back. Yeah. Yeah, I recycled an ad that I was working on. So that's where that came from. Let me see. Let's see if I can find it. It was a nice machine. Oh my God, that's a while back, I think. This is it. Yeah, this is it. Hold on. Let's see. DJ says, oh yeah, that one was really nice. Looked like it came right out of the box. Jimmy says, what is the ship horns in the background? Oh yeah, that's not ship horns. That's our fire department. Right? I live like right up the block from it, and we kept it. It's the old air horn, right? To alert, it's like the signal horn for fires and shit. Yeah, let's check this one out. This one did come out nice. Let's see. I need my headset back on again? Yeah, probably. Just in case. Yeah, it was puking a little bit of oil. It had sat for a really long time. This is after I got it running and I ran it. It puked all that oil. And then I, finished it up, cleaned it up. So I had two. I just sold another one like it. Yeah, it's a nice looking machine. But these are the crappy box store machines for $325. It's a push. But, you know, it's a good machine. When you get them new, and if you take care of super clean lineup.
Also, for a lot of the old.
Super clean. Let's see, where am I? So, yeah. But the one I just showed you, that's a 22-inch push with a little Briggs on it. It will sell eventually, or I'll trade it with Mikey or whatever for some stuff I own. He's in a different area, and it depends on where you are, obviously, anywhere in the United States. Like if you're someplace that's hot right now, right? Also on the island, there's two different areas. Like I know, like Pate, he's up in an area, Green Lawn, whatever, and people buy nicer stuff there. They have a bit more money, but there are also very particular people, and they can be a real pain in the ass. All right, so he does have that problem, but he also baits them. I see what he does. Right, not to put him down or anything, but he's young, and he doesn't realize he causes just as many problems as other people give him. Right, so and he does it, and I watch him do it. And I'm like, whatever. There you go. That'll come back at you. You know, is that moonshine you drinking? No, no. Why? Because it's in one of these mason glasses? No, this is just water with lemon in it. It's strong but smooth. No, it's water. It's water with just to have something to wet the old whistle, right? Because I can't just drink coffee all the time. Well, I do, but you know, I can't just drink coffee, right? So, because this gets cold. So, the people offer me these silly numbers, right? And that's like some of them I get it, right? Like some of them you can tell, like I think they're trying to either get something for free, you know, for like next to nothing, and they'll resell it. And they don't read the ad. Nobody reads the ad. Like I have simple ads. Like it'll say firm on the top line. And I think people have just like resorted to just looking at pictures. So I wanted to show you guys. Let me come back down. You know, I'm pretty shot tonight. I'm like, well, I got to take the day off. So my daughter's mad at me because I'm supposed to clean the air conditioners, the little air conditioners. And I'm like, I can't because it's getting sticky and nasty out. I'm like, I can't move. Right. Well, I wanted to show you guys too. Mikey dropped off some stuff, but here's a little collection of some garbage. But I already started turning the garbage into gems, and this stuff does sell. Like I did sell a lot of machines already this year. It's not enough, you know, to really pay all my bills and everything properly, but it's getting there. Yeah, let me fire this up. Mikey was here. What's up, Mike? Mikey, I can't show you this one thing. I got to make sure I don't show you that because that's coming up in a video. So we'll talk about that in a little bit. I don't want to step all over myself. Let's see. I just want to go over a couple of things that Mikey gave me. So I got this nice bag. Mikey! Right, it's in pretty good shape. It's just filthy. It's a nice bag. Which is good because I have some snappers. Although I don't know what their story is. Wow, it's getting cool out here. It's windy. So this is a nice little machine. Somebody dented the tank, but it might be okay. Briggs & Stratton. This is a 208cc. So, you know, that's a little bit bigger than their 190s. This is a little bit more newer, more modern. And this is the newer style cheapy pump on the axials. But, you know, your preset unloader, which is adjustable, but it's a preset. But it's out front. I kind of like the fact that it's out front. Although if you don't keep it clean, it will jam up. So it's missing the wheel. It's got a brokey wheel. I don't know if I have any more bodies. I pretty much got rid of a lot of them. But this is a nice motor. It's actually pretty cool. I might surprise him with this motor. I have an idea.
Right, this is a little more modern, right? Because it's got the oil cutoff switch, and so it's going to live out here for now. This is a different. By the way, this is a different muffler.
It was full of water.
Then the older ones, with the ones that were older, the ones that I was showing, they get all these problems. Water gets in, so I'm actually leaving it like this because water won't go in and go down. Hopefully, Should probably just plug it. If I leave it outside, I'll probably take it off this frame and throw the frame out. So that's something to do. And you want to plug these holes. The gas tank was full of water. These motors take on water, and then they're no good. Let's see if it pulls over. I don't remember if I checked this. Yeah, she pulls over, right? Which is good. So she's not seized. All right, let's go check out the rest of it.
So yeah, I actually have an idea for that. Don't say anything, but I might put it on a mini bike. All right, I think that might be a good pick because it's the biggest motor I have. I think that'll fit on there. So I grabbed the motor, I left the pump on it, and I just kind of took it, put it up on the bench, you know, took the frame and everything and threw that out. And the gas tank was like full of water. It was almost all water. So I emptied out the water out of the tank as best I could, blew it out. I took the bowl off the carburetor and dumped the water out of that, let everything drain, and I put some of my magic sauce in there. It's just got a little bit of rust in the bowl, but it should be okay. So I have a feeling that's going to wind up on a mini bike. But the thing is though that I don't know. I haven't done one of these in a long time. First thing is the pull start is in the wrong direction. So we got to see if we can clock it differently, because you'd have to be standing in front of the mini bike to start it, which is stupid, you know. So we got to see. I got a bunch of motors put aside for a cool mini bike project that's coming up. Stay tuned for that, because I really can't wait to get to it, and I've been promising them, and I'm trying to clear time. But then, like today, I had a rest. You know, I just overspeed myself. Let's see what else is on the property here. There's a couple of stupid things. Speaking of lawnmowers. Right? Because who talks about lawnmowers, right? Us guys come on this stupid channel, we talk about lawnmowers. Well, so be it.
You know, another thing, too, I wanted to mention is I've got...
Yeah, blah, 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 blah.
But I will put something on, maybe I'll just...
Yeah, blah, blah, blah. So here's the same lawnmower
the more
that guy
recent
has.
lineup.
Right.
So this one's good for parts, right? I'm going to part this one out. Probably a decent motor.
Yeah, it's gone now, Rob. We'll get to that.
And, you know, I'll part this one out later. This is an old one.
Hold on. What?
I like these. They usually come back pretty good.
That's
they were
the
made
same
pretty
one
decent.
that guy
This
had.
one's pretty rusty and beat up, so we'll see. But this one, the motor might be shot. But we'll see.
It's
Sometimes
a little
they come
dirtier.
back. The coats, the paint that we're on, or whatever you want to call it, I don't know whether it's epoxy or it's a powder coat or whatever, but they usually held up pretty good. There's a rear-wheel drive guy. I think I have the bag for it.
Yeah, hold on. So that's the same lawnmower that I was just showing you from that other fella, right? Same damn thing, right? Except that obviously the one I have is a little bit dirtier. Like maybe if you took a broom to it, right? But it's the same. I like those, right? There's another one in that pile that's a little bit newer, a little different wheel. These are like closer to like somewhat of the end of the run, the production run for those. I say that because if you look at the wheels, right, you can tell. The other one's got like a newer style wheel on it, this black one that you're going to see. But the red one as well has a fancier wheel on it, and they're narrow. When they first started making like that red one, they were much wider, heavy-duty wheels. They were definitely different. But even still, you've got a decent bag. It should be able to be cleaned. The handlebars are a mess, so I might have another pair. It's a Briggs flathead. You can't go wrong with that as long as it's, you know, repairable. The bodies are very strong and very sturdy. So it is a better lawnmower. Like if you wanted to go buy one. All right, see you in a minute, Casey. If you wanted to go buy one, you're looking at $325 for that nice lawnmower that I showed, right? That's $325. It's nice, but it's thin. It's cheesy. Let's see. Start it back up.
Just missing a few things. I got a couple of these. They clean up real nice when they're done. Here's another one of those, like the other one. Like the red one. It's a black version. They're easy. It's the high wheel rear, which is kind of nice. They usually clean up pretty good. Now, the bag, I got a couple of bags. They fit on some different things. He gave me some bags. This one's in good shape. This is the new style Cheezoid, you know, big block store.
That's the one you just saw.
For that, because it's in good shape. They usually sell pretty good.
Really nice.
They don't sell for a lot. I know what you guys are thinking. Wow, look at this thing. It's a time master whose time has come. However, it's all here, right? The bag is in nice shape. It's the decent motor. It feels like it pulls over. It wanted to kind of kick, even though the bale is dead. The deck is done, but everything is here. So I was like, well, he's like, I'll bring it over. I'm like, yeah, bring it over, just because. Let me see it. Looking online for decks, even the spindles turn. If we can get the spindles off, I should be able to get a deck. I saw them on eBay for $100. So just take everything off, clean it all nice, and put it all back on a new deck. And it'll probably sell for, I don't know, $500, $600. I've seen people ask $1,000. I think they're only like 15 or 16 new. So that's silly, but with $100, I'll give him a piece of the slice. And I think that's it. Yeah, there's some garbage laid in here. There's that nice Toro back there. I still haven't done anything with it yet. I don't know what to do with it. I like it. Right? It's almost like you don't want to sell everything, because some things are like odd. Here's one I might want to get to. This one I'm kind of leaving till towards the end of the year. Let me see what else I want. I got to clean a couple of things today.
Yeah, so that Time Master, I think I'm gonna like schedule that as a project maybe towards the end of the year. We'll see. But that could be a moneymaker. I saw one recently for sale, and the guy was asking $1,000. That doesn't mean he's going to get $1,000 for it. But they are nice machines, and actually that Time Master would be good for my yard because it's big, right? And I've got one of those weird sized yards. It's a little bit much for a regular size lawnmower. It wears me out. It takes a while. Oh, Zippo Varg, what's up, Zippo? Did you see that Time Master, Zip? I don't know if you saw that. But that one, he's like, well, that's a lot of work. I'm like, well, not really. I mean, I take apart lawnmowers completely all the time. It's not really, because we were looking online and I saw a bunch of decks for sale. Apparently, this must be a thing. I don't really know Toro Time Masters. I like Toro mowers, but I don't really know Toro Time Masters. Not saying like I know much about them. I inspected everything else just quickly, and I said, well, you know what I'll do is we'll schedule it. It looks to me like for $100 plus shipping and whatever tax, if we can get a decent deck, everything else appears to be transferable. As long as all the bolts come out, like my biggest concern is the spindles, but the spindles look like they bolt in. They don't look like, usually spindles have threads and the bolt goes into the threads, right? TJ says, you're the master of lawnmowers. Thanks, TJ. Yeah, the master lawnmower. Never mind. I'm not going to go there, right? Because you'll get me down that road. And so usually you take a spindle and it's aluminum and a steel bolt goes in it. And, they rot in there and they don't come out. And generally when you go to replace a spindle, the spindle's dead. And you go to take the bolt out and it snaps or strips or something goes bad, but you don't care because you just need a good set of bolts and you've already bought another spindle, and usually that's what happens. So, sure is the master. Yeah, I was just checking out one of your videos and I was going to make a comment about one of them the other day, and I'm like, I get tired and cranky. And sometimes I just don't feel like blabbering, out of my mouth. But I think that would be a good project. And I'm actually tempted to keep it because, like I said, I have this weird sized lawn. It's, I've got 3 lawn sections plus the buildings on it. And it does wear me out when I'm tired. That's why I like to keep the rider. And let me go to, this one here. So let's see, where am I? So yeah, let me open this up. We'll come back to this guy. And I'm going to tell you the story. I almost sold it. So we're just going to go backwards and just kind of go through it. Now, these are kind of rare. Like, this is one of the most rare... it's not a rare machine in a sense, but it's rare. It's rare here. You generally don't see them. And I sold it, right? I got it a bunch of years ago. It was one of the first machines on my channel. And it was electrically a mess. Somebody was in it. It's got a bunch of interesting interlocks. It's got a PTO with the electric clutch. Oh, Blarney Stone just picked up an Arian 724 snowblower for free on the road. Zion said, needs shear pin. I'm like, yeah, right. But that's all? It needed now selling 50. Yeah, okay. So there you go, man. 350. Yep. This is a good time of year to buy snow blowers because they can get them cheap. If it doesn't sell now, hold on to it, Blarney, because then you'll get really good money for it. You know, it says they're well made. I like them. The Arians and of course Snapper. Yeah, and the older Simplicity RERs. Yep. Rear engine riders were no slouch either. Now I also have that Snapper, but I often complain about the Snapper, and we're going to be doing the Snapper soon. We're going to have to go over the rear end of my Snapper. We got to go over it, clean it up, you know, get the plate working good, and then I bought those, you know, accordion axle seals for it. So we got to put those on before I can either sell it or put it into service. What I don't like about it is they're complex in that sense. They're very simple, but they're like snowblower transmissions. Now, the one advantage to that is that when you go to put it in gear, it doesn't jerk. And, you know, like a lot of these just regular gear-driven units, you know, the gear-driven transmissions. And it's smoother, and it operates well, and they shift well, and there's not a lot you have to do, and you can just kind of do it on the fly. And, you know, it is kind of neat that way. Everything is there. So there's nothing hidden on the Snapper. And it stores well on its butt. If you're careful with it, you know how to put it away properly. So it's a big space saver, which, you know, for like me, I had it out in the shed all winter or in the back of the garage. And if you're somebody like me and you have a bunch of machines and maybe even a limited on space and you'd like to keep it someplace nice, that is an advantage. Now you can store the Jacobson on its butt, but you have to take some additional precautions, and it doesn't exactly store safely, right? You'd have to make some bracketry for it. So I got this thing originally and brought it in, and it was electrical nightmare. Somebody screwed it up, and they didn't take care of it, so I fixed it, and I tried putting it on YouTube, and of course I sucked making the video, but I did the best I could. You know, that's what you do. But I like the engine. It's got a nice Briggs engine on it. I love those carburetors. They're completely adjustable. It's a gear-driven machine. It's got an electric PTO in the back. I don't like where they put the shift handle because, especially when you want to go in reverse, you kind of have to feel it. You can't see it, and it's in an uncomfortable position. And there's quite a number of things that I don't like about it. However, it is gear-driven. The transmission is underneath the seat, so it's out of the weather, so to speak. It's away from all of the junk. And I like that. I like the electrical PTO. It's got a separate brake and clutch. I just made this aluminum block-off plate because it didn't have anything. It didn't have the bag. It just had a chute. And I tried covering it with a coffee can, and that didn't last that long. So I made this whole chute cover here in a block-off plate. And it's in aluminum right now, using the parts from what I had. And it works really well. I like it. The thing that I don't like about it is, let's see, it says, Zippo says, the disc drive can be a pain and the gator boots tend to last only. Yeah, I noticed that. They only last a few years. And that's its vulnerable spot, whereas the transmission on this is up and out of the way. There's just a little transfer case or, you know, whatever at the bottom, and it's completely sealed. This thing's got really nice bones to it. But what I don't like about it is somebody modified it, and we'll get to some more pictures in a minute, to try to put a bigger battery in, and they screwed it up. I made some changes to that. Yeah, here. So can we see more of it? The engine vibrates. Oh yeah, look, watch. Am I going to screw it up? Wait. Okay, here we go. Yeah, it's running now. I'm going backwards, so. Now, the engine vibrates. It does, it vibrates.
and somebody removed whatever was the suspension for the seat. It got removed, and somebody tried to put a bigger battery in the battery box next to the transmission, but there's no way you can fit a conventional battery back there. I put a bigger battery in than what was originally spec'd out. So I put a 12 amp hour battery, like a motorcycle battery in there, and it's been fine. When I sold it, I explained to the guy how to use it. Let me get back to the seat suspension. Somebody ripped it apart and ripped in there, and I don't know what was suspending the seat, but I did manage to get some springs in it, and it's better. I haven't really tried it very much or used it. There's less vibrations. And with my bad back, right, those vibrations, especially before I put the springs in, it was so bad that I couldn't sit on the machine. It was mind-numbingly painful and disturbing to my entire person. And now that I put the springs on it, it's better. However, Mikey was over too, and we noticed it has a weird harmonic to the engine. I don't know if there's something wrong with the engine, if there's something wrong with that clutch. Yeah, and Zippo says they're early enough Briggs that it doesn't have that massive counterbalance weight, I'm assuming. I guess so. It has the flywheel is cast. So if that helps at all. And like I said to him, I said basically the same thing to Mike. I'm like, I have a feeling that the balance on that engine may not be very good. It could also be the clutch, the electric clutch system on it. Maybe it needs to come off and we need to inspect it. It works fine, but maybe it's not on there right. Or I don't know, I'm guessing, right? It's either that or the motor. I mean, if I were to keep it, I'd have to try to fix it. And I can't rebalance the engine. So if it's not the clutch, then I would put another motor on it. Not like I don't have any, but I have to put another. That motor needs to be on something with a belt, like a more conventional, lawn tractor style mount or something. Maybe some isolator mounts, that kind of thing. Because with it right back there behind my butt, right, forget it. So I really liked the machine. I didn't want to sell it, but I couldn't use it. Not comfortably, and of course Zippo knows, he'll tell you, it's not like driving around a Simplicity Sunstar on a Sunday. Cruising around the yard, cutting... Oh, am I cutting the lawn? I don't know. Hold on, let me get my beer. All right, it's so comfortable. And by the way, the Sunstar, as big as it is on my narrow property, it manages to get everywhere without any argument. It's got a super good turning radius. So you'd think that like these little machines would be good. Well, the other problem with the little machines, and this one in particular because it's got these like golf cart tires in the front, is that the grass is wet and then you need to cut a sharp turn with the rear drive. It doesn't do that, right? It'll just plow right into a fence or into your garden, right? And they don't actually turn all that sharp. So let me see what else is here. We're going to come back up. And what's nice, though, is it's got the one big blade. Just put... Yeah, I was thinking about it. It says put in an OHV on it. I have a couple laying around. And I wanted to make a little test rig. Because I've seen a few of you guys making test rigs and stuff. And I started to make one. I have that old generator with that big old cart I have in the back. It's a really nice cart. I started to make one. And I was like, you know what? I really need to make a test rig. No, I don't. I don't need to make a test rig. I really need to make a test rig. Right? Like, need. So I was thinking about, well, I really do need to make a test rig. Maybe that'll give me the gumption if I keep it. So I put it up for sale. So I'll go back a little bit on the story. And let's see. Let's see where we are. We'll kind of cruise through the next part. So I put it back up for sale. I thought, well, why not, right? I know Zippo uses the Black & Decker. I don't have one, right? I always wanted a Black & Decker workmate, for a lot of reasons, and that's one of them. I did make a countertop, like, rolling thing that I have around here. And you see that on the last episode of The Green Rider. So let's see. So that's nice. Yeah, and it's good for so many things, too. Let's see. Right, this blew apart. Little teat there. That so goes I had to into fix that
it.
hole, that square hole. That's really what locates this whole thing.
So I made all
aligns it
these
so that you can
brackets.
assemble it. And other
Let
than
me turn me down.
this
Hold on.
whole mechanism, so when, again,
Let's
from
see.
behind it was pretty thick. So
I'm just going to scroll
something
through
to
some
give
of
a
it.
big-
You see what I made?
right? Could put a
All of
screw
that?
there, anything to hold it together.
Right. I had to
It'll
because
look nice. I don't think
the
we
last
really
guy
need that.
blew out
I mean,
all
the
the
idea
plastic
was to use
locators
this
for the
screw to
screws,
tie it
and the
all
whole
in, but I
steering
think I
column was
made
all over
this
the, you know,
piece
all over
long
the
enough. So that's a fail.
all over the place,
That would've been
really.
nice.
So I made
Right,
this
keep
whole
going,
like
keep
ribbing
going
on
with
it. I think I scared the guy away that was here today looking to buy this thing, and I'll tell you that story real quick. So I got it all back
Style.
together. It fits
Drill
nice.
these, but we got to take it apart and
Just
run a
making
tap
some
and
different
open up
brackets
these
for
holes
it.
Just to scope side. I'll probably leave these on. Maybe Loctite. Work with. And
So I'm just going to scroll through this. Here's another shot of it.
all right, last look. I just wanted to get in here, touch up a few things, get all the junk out, right? All of the chips. But I got the screws in there.
See? I'm fitting
you
it
can
in and
see,
just
right,
it's sturdy
even
now.
just adding that, right? Because this would have just flipped right over. So even just adding these. Right, now I can put it together. These
To
I
me,
put-
this is a
everything all
poor
this years
design.
is in, give it
And
an
I knew
opportunity to-
it was going to let go sooner or later. I'm also worried about this
some
whole
point,
lift
years down the
rod.
road, even if I
for the
own it,
deck.
right, it's going to need to be cleaned. All right, it's done. This one blew out. Okay, and that was what I was concerned about. So, all right,
Let's
I'm done.
see.
Vibrate. I did notice though, if you get it to
Yeah,
the
here's the
correct
vibration.
RPM or a particular RPM, it doesn't vibrate as much. And the question is that a good RPM for cutting? But we're going to be pulling the blade off, so I'm going to really take a good look at it and its balance. Could also be, by the way, fellas, that this is out of balance, because I noticed the motor itself, you know, that would require removing it and inspecting it and maybe an adjustment or something. I don't know.
Could that be a possibility, Zip? I mean, I've never had one of these off personally in my hand, right? Is it possible that it seems to work fine, but it's only driving a lawnmower blade. But would it affect the balance of the engine to the point where, you know, is it possible? I don't know, you know. Could be. Let me see the next thing. And we're going to go back up. We'll go up to here. So this is me making this stupid plate. I'll show you a little bit about that.
Now watch, I even loosened it a little bit. The other one is really tight.
Yeah. This is after.
Put the bolt back, and by the time I use it, you know, like a
Let's see. I'm just working on the deck, trying to get everything to work and
let's see
function
if we
properly.
can't fix this.
Let's see, where am I? I think this is where it blows apart. Yeah.
Off. I don't remember which way is brake, so.
Let me see. You might be able to see it.
All right. All right, should be in neutral.
This
I
might
forget
be
which
where I
one is
break the
which.
steering
So
column.
this one, the clutch, my right is my brake, so I think that's neutral. All right, switch off. I don't remember which way is choke. We got to write that down.
I forget now. Oh, that's it. Wait, that's it. Oh,
Oh.
there we go. There we go. Here it comes. Here it comes.
So we're going to give it a little bit of help.
Oh,
Uh-oh. Well, that's not good.
just
That actually pulled
just
out.
blammoed the whole thing.
We got to fix that. I think the guy kind of screwed it up. Yeah, he broke it. Yep. He broke this thing. Wow, absolutely destroyed it.
Yeah, it just blammoed. Absolutely destroyed it. So that was another thing I had to fix on it. So what happened is I sold the machine to the guy, gave him some basic, you know, info on how to use it, right? Let me catch up to you. It says, we all had to start somewhere, Casey. Casey says, yep, just get frustrating sometimes. Casey's saying he's working out of a shed. So did I, for a long time. A little shed, right? And the yard, which I still like to work in the yard. Tim Tweet says, G Arch, didn't know about your live. Too damn hot here in Central Texas. 98, but feels like 102. Wow, Tim, like we've been hearing from a number of people how hot it is there. Oh yeah. So to try to, because, you know, forget about Arch, like keeping track of a story, right? My mind works on multiple levels, so try to stick with me, fellas, because I can't stick with me. So I gave him a little bit of info on it, and what's kind of confusing is this is a pull start engine, but it requires the battery to run the PTO thing, clutch, because the engine doesn't put out enough juice, current, to run that thing. So the battery has to be there and working, like powerful enough to start the engine. Because if it's not, what'll happen is the blade, it will disengage, right? The clutch can't stay, held in, and it'll disengage. And he mentioned it seemed like it was starting to do that, like it was slipping. He also told me that he killed the battery and he was pull starting it. And okay, right, if he'd said something to me, I would have told him. I told him when he took the machine, you got to have a charged battery on this thing. So he let it die over the winter. He really liked the machine. And what he did was he replaced the switch in the front that controls the clutch and the safeties. And he put a switch in with a center off, and it doesn't have a center off. It's either on or off. It's like a double pole, double throw. And he must have shorted something out because he blew out the ignition switch and the starter solenoid, right? The entire solenoid. So I replaced those, and I also put in a little fusible link in a fuse, like a regular, like blade style fuse. I used a 40 amp. I think it probably should have like a, I don't know, I want to say maybe 25, 30 amp. Maybe 40 amp is too much, but it wasn't fused. So it blew all of that out. And what I said to him was like, look, you got a lot going on here, right? I'd have to charge you a lot. I'm like, why don't you take the Green Rider and we'll do an exchange for cash, and I don't know when I'm going to get to this thing, and this way you can go cut your lawn. And the Green Rider was all ready. So I sold him the Green Rider, and, for cash and for this thing. And it's back again, right? Like, I couldn't get rid of it. So a guy came today, and I want to show you what he's got. Let me catch up and see. I think this is answered your clutch question. Look up. Oh, okay. Let's see. Let me look up. Let's see. Blind Stones, 3 Bolins, 20 rear engine riders. Okay, Barney says, I have 3 Bolins, 28 rear engine riders with Briggs 8 horsepower. You can't kill them. Nice. You're right there, Barney. Especially since my shop is a shed. Nope, not unless there's a bearing out in the clutch. Does the engine vibrate without the deck engaged? Yes, it vibrates without the deck engaged. We all had to start somewhere, Casey. Yep, just let frustration sometimes. Yep, you answered your clutch question. And Zoning Mower is 11 by 9. 10 feet. It's called multitasking. All right, gotcha. All right, he says, look up. I got it. So I made sure the blade was perfectly balanced. I went over all of that. It was vibrating a bit, but when I went back over it, it does not vibrate at all. It's kind of a noisy, very powerful blade system, but it doesn't feel like it's out of balance. It definitely is the engine and or the clutch, which I just don't see how it would really be a problem. Like, it's quite a bit of vibration. And the engine seems fine otherwise. It's strong, it has good power, I don't hear any weird noises. Bleach is here. Says, hey, Arch, just replaced the brakes lever on my Snapper Comet video on my channel. Nice, we'll check that out. That's cool. He's got an old one, fellas, in case you don't know. He's got a nice old one. Which one do you have? Do you have the one with the handlebars or the steering wheel? I forget now. Right? Because the real old ones were the handlebar-driven ones, which is kind of cool. So anyway, he's got this thing that at the point where it was so filthy, it was just so abused, he didn't take care of it. I'm like, you could clean the thing every now and then. So I gave him the Green Rider, and I gave him some tips on how to deal with it and to keep it nice. And I took this thing back, and I'm like, well, I would keep it if the vibration wasn't like that. So I decided to put it up for sale in the meantime. And a guy showed up. Let me show you. We'll tell that story real quick, and let me bring up some pictures. Because pictures are awesome. I got one here. Same one, yeah. So this guy, let's see it today with his son. He look a nice guy. Yeah, let's go to the pictures. Let's see. Let's transfer over to here. So he hits me up and he goes, "Oh, Arch, I got this Toro, right?" I'm like, okay. He's like, would you be willing to do like trade and cash or whatever? I'm like, well, let me see it. Send me over some pictures. It's not too bad. Older recycler. right? Nothing really special. It's so similar to the Jacobson, and you can see it. It's filthy. When he got here, he gave me more of the story. I said, well, you know, he seemed like he was really interested. I was like, all right, bring it over. All right, Saturday. So it's not bad. 32-inch wheel horse. You know, basically the same engine, almost a little bit newer, right? I think this is an overhead valve engine. I don't know. I don't remember. IC. No, maybe it's not. It's not an overhead valve engine. Is it 5-speed with reverse? Chain drive. I think it's the same transmission as in the Jacobson. Right, but pulley driven blade system. And I like where the controls are. They're easier to get to. Plus it's got this cool handle on the side, which makes it a little bit easier to shift through the gears as opposed to the Jacobson that I have. Right, this definitely would make it a little bit easier. I don't know if this steering console is metal or if that's plastic in there. I suspect it's probably all metal, which is good because that's an improvement. Other than that, it's got that, I want to say that 80s boxy look, you know. Let me come back. So it's not a bad machine. So he brings it over. And we're chatting for a little bit, and he proceeds to tell me he got it from his, I guess, his neighbor. His neighbor gave it to him. And he said he had to put a starter on it, and a battery, and a bunch of other things, but he doesn't really know much about these things. And let me catch up with you guys. See what you guys are saying. And then he proceeds to tell me that, yeah, that the transmission's got issues. I'm like, oh? Oh, let me catch up. Zipper says, you might take the clutch down and run the engine. That's what I was thinking. So Zipper says, which is how is everybody doing? Might take the engine, the clutch down, run the engine to see if it's the engine. You could have a partially sheared flywheel key, which would cause vibration being to do out of time. Yeah, it does start up really easy though. I do want to go back in there and look. So when I go to do my inspection to see if we need to change the motor or we can work with what we have, I'm going to look at both ends of that. I have been in there once already. I took the flywheel off. I think it was to do an inspection or something. But, something could have happened. Rudy says, what's up, Rudy? Briggs and Stratton riding over the gas and the oil. Replace the carburetor, still leaking into the oil. Check the wiring, starts, smokes lots. Yeah, I bet it smokes a lot. It with all gas in the oil, it probably killed the rings. Nope, it's an L head. Engine is turned 180 degrees from the Jacobson. Oh, it's an L head, so it's different. Okay. Zipper Progress says, Rudy, simple fix to install the fuel line, shut off, and really just remember to turn it off. Yeah, it's if he can remember, and if he doesn't remember, it's going to back to that whole thing again. That's what Tecumseh did. Right, Mr. Tecumseh. He was like, I think he did an episode like more towards the beginning of the season. He's like, yep, I'm back here working on it again. The engine's full of gas. He's like, last year I put a fuel shut off on it so this wouldn't happen, but I never shut it off, so this did happen. Yeah. It's a good thing to put in anyway, but yeah, us guys get busy and forget. Already done that, which says, the white handlebars. Yeah, I have a few snapper projects. Work on a Comet with fat tires today. Replace the rubber drive disc and 80-90 gear oil, transmission, rip the grease plugs. Nice. They're good for now, but need to be replaced. Let's see. Zippa says the Toro is the same engine as the Jacobson. It's just turned 180 degrees. Is it turned on? I don't think so. The plug is facing towards my ass. And I'm pretty sure it's the same. Let me see. We don't care which way the engine's turned. Yeah, look, here it is. Hold on. Let me bring it back up. So that's that. Is there another pick? Yeah, that pick will work. All right, so here's the Toro. Right, there it is. There's the fill. There's the gas tank. And then it's same here. Right. Gas tank's on the other side. There's the ass. There's my ass. Right. So not, I would have been interested in it,
but when he started to tell me the transmission wasn't shifting into gear, I said, does it go into gear when you get it into gear, and can you drive it? He says, yeah. I said, well, then what happens? Does it slip at all? And his son says, well, it can pop out of gear. Now, it could be an adjustment. The guy doesn't really know, right? I could tell from talking to him. Like, knew a little bit about cars and other stuff, but he admitted that he doesn't really know. I didn't touch his machine. It was on the back of his pickup truck. I never touched it. I didn't ask him to, drive it around and do anything to it. We went and took a look at the Jacobson. And I wanted to tell him, I told him everything that I had done to the Jacobson and the story of it. Because I wanted to know what he got, what he was looking at, what he was going to get. The stuff that broke and what I repaired, and the story of the ignition switch and all. I mean, the whole interlock switch with the blade control. I fixed all of that again for the second time. It was running fine. He goes, we pull it out of the garage, and he goes to back it up. Got the engine running, starts right up, goes to back it up, and he dumps the clutch. Literally. I mean, just foot right off, right? And it popped the belt. And he's like, trying to drive it through the gears, and it's not moving away. I'm like, all right, hold on. So I picked the thing up, threw it on its butt. I reached there, and I put the belt back on, and he left. He ran. He goes, oh, I can't have that happen to me. And then he grabbed his son, and he ran away. And he's like, I have a bad feeling about it now. I can't be having that happen. First of all, I got to say, any of us know, right, that if you're talking about like a hydraulic transmission or something, it's going to be a lot easier on you when you go to put it in gear and start going again. But if you got a geared transmission with a belt and you dump your clutch, you better be holding on, right? Because you're going to pop a wheelie. That's not what you do. You don't pop your foot off. That's crazy. And then in reverse, right? So I don't even know if he's really... He said to me that he had a heart issue now. He's like my age, and he has a heart issue. A lot of people got that from this, And he was in good shape. And I'm thinking, he's like, I can't really push a lawnmower anymore. I need to be sitting down or whatever. So I think he was shopping. I don't know what he expects to find for $400 or something, but I don't think he was really ever doing anything with these things. He got this thing that he has from his neighbor. He put a bunch of money into it. He realizes it doesn't work right. We didn't really even talk money. He just ran away, and I'm like, okay, well, I'll see you later, because that was uncomfortable. He shut the whole conversation down. It literally took me a minute. I threw it with my bad back. I threw the thing up on its butt, which is what I like about these little machines, because they're so easy for me to work on, even me. Threw it up on its back, right, on its butt. I reached in there with my gloved hand, and it's got the same kind of setup as the Green Rider, for those of you that saw that episode. It's got like these belt retainer on the big pulley that you just massage the belt on as you're turning. Now, it could be that it needs a belt. The belt looked fine, but I replaced the belt on the blade drive belt, but I never replaced the actual drive belt. It didn't look bad. Maybe it stretched a little bit, but it wasn't in bad shape. And I just put it on there, and like a minute later, I put the thing down. I'm like, there you go, it's all done. And he got scared and ran. I'm like, well, okay, thanks for wasting my time. Oh, man. Let me catch up to you guys. I got to catch up. Hold on. You guys are talking without me here. You're talking behind my back, and I got to spend some time to catch up. That's what I like. Let's see. Okay, wait. Where my bleach ones and white handlebars. To know the Toro is the same as the Jacobson, blah, blah, blah. On both, I missed that. I have a snapper with the head sided front to back. I've seen a snapper with the head to one side instead of front. No, I've never seen that. That's weird. To one side. Does mine have that? Or the one that I sold? No, mine's an older one, so it doesn't have that. The one that I sold, yeah, maybe the one that I sold last year is, I think it's on the channel where I'm actually doing some work on it. I'm going to have to check that out. Maybe that one had that. Let's see, Rudy says I replaced the bowl gasket.
Rudy, you got to go in and do the needle and seat, and if it's got that stupid electric valve, you might want to check that too. It says, the gear oil top came off and went all over it when I was putting in the middle of the chain case. Yeah, you're making a mess. Yeah, and the needle. Rudy, did you replace the carburetor with Amazon special? Rudy says, I have not replaced the carburetor. I simply worked on it, replaced the gasket and the needle. Okay, you can take a Q-tip, put a little compound or valve lapping compound on the tip. Q-tip, put the Q-tip in a drill and polish the seat and needle the seat. Yeah, I like that. That's a good tip. I sold snapper riders for I sold snapper rider for $250. That's not bad. That's if it's not mint, like totally mint and painted and beautiful, $250 is a decent price. If you could make it mint and beautiful and really pretty, I sold one for $400. So, but you got to go over the whole thing and make it really mint and pretty, and because they'll get $400, $500 if they're really in nice shape. Let's see. Bleach this before. Rudy says, thank you, I will try it. Zippo says, I think I'm almost caught up. I'll reassemble the carb, then do a vacuum and blow test on the fuel and let the carburetor upside down with it so it shouldn't leak. Yeah, I do the suck test, the suck and blow test with my mouth. Right. That's what I usually do. Most of the time, though, I get them back together and they're fine. But those cheaper carbs, that some of them are the Nickies and some of them aren't. A lot of them are on the newer machines, like, the newer lawn tractors. They get these cheap carbs. They're really not that good. And they can be somewhat problematic, A lot of the lawnmowers and stuff that I do, because I part out so many of them, I have, boxes of carburetors. And occasionally I use them up. Occasionally I use up, like, maybe more push prime than, like, the automatic choke. But you can feel the difference, like, over the years. Like, the really nice old ones, you pick them up in your hand and they're weighty, right? And then you get to the newer ones and just, it's like featherweight. There's like nothing there. And the newer they are, the more problematic they are. I mean, I've grabbed some of these old carburetors and I clean them up and you slap everything back on and everything's fine, right? Life is good. So I managed to get to the point where I'm like, all right, look, the thing will work. It'll be fine. I can sell it. I won't have any qualms about it. It will be fine. It will continue to work for the price. I'd be happy if I found something else in with a trade. I mean, I got this thing back as a trade and cash. All right, this Jacobson. I bought it originally. It wasn't running, right? I didn't spend much money on it. I think I paid $100 for it when I first got it years ago. And she's still kicking around. And I said to the guy when it popped the belt, I'm like, oh, I don't think she wants to leave today, right? And he just got scared. Like, I think I overwhelmed him. And I think subconsciously I might have even done that because it doesn't really want to leave, and I kind of don't want to sell it because in a way it's nice to have. It's a backup to me not having to push a lawnmower around when I'm tired. And when I don't really want to work on, use the, the old girl, Big Bertha, I'm going to need to work on that thing from time to time, and, crap's going to happen, right? Crap's going to happen. So while I'm here, let's see. I wanted to do a surprise. Well, let me see if I have it. There's a little surprise that I didn't put. I'm going to be releasing this video soon, but let me see where it is. All right, hold on, fellas. Hold on. You got to give me a minute. Let me see here. So here's a little surprise video. I think you guys are gonna like this video. I know Zippo will, but hold on. Let me see if I can find it. So eventually I'll be putting out the video on the old Jacobson, and I'll condense it down into something. It is cool, and it is rare in a sense. All right, let me see if I can find it. Where am I? Yeah, here it is. All right, let me cue it up. Hold on. Let me just... Hey, everyone. All right, shut up, Arch. Hold on. Let me get this thing together here. I'll put it on the other monitor. Here we go. Hold on. I wanted to see, can I do... Let me do this. Yeah, I think I can do it. I'm going to do... Let me just test it to make sure. Hey everyone. So, we have an emergency. Hold on, something's blocking it. There it is. There it is. Stand by. Queuing it up. Hold on. Hey everyone. So, we have an emergency situation here with the Simplicity Sunstar. It's so bad and so horrible that I dare not speak of it above my breath. So let's get started.
All right, Houston, we have a major problem. Went to go start it, and these bolts got loose that hold the base of the air cleaner down. And I'm missing a bolt, and it could be in there, which means it can find its way into the head. Fortunately, it's not a steep angle, and it actually has to come up. Now, the throttle got stuck, so I'm hoping it's still right in here. I can't leave it here. At least I hate to leave it here. I think what we're going to do, as much as I hate doing it, right, I'm going to have to take all this off. I'd rather bring it into the garage, but I'm afraid to continue to use it. You know, do I risk it? You know, the question is, it's not hard to take all this off. So now would be the time to liberate it, and not right this moment, but I think I'm going to cover it. I don't have the hood. So I think I'm going to do is either lay the hood on or just put plastic and a cup over it. And we're not going to turn it on. I'm going to leave it here in the shade area and try to pull all this off and not use it and just do it right here. So I'm going to leave it where it is for now. I didn't hear anything weird, but I don't know. It revved up. I shut it right off. So, yeah, that's bad. So maybe we can find it. It might be right there. I mean, if not, if it goes down into the head, it's going to hit the piston, screw everything up. It's not a very big screw. I can't do it now. So let me go cover it with something just to keep the rain out of it.
Oh, I know.
And then we'll get in there.
Emergency.
Maybe tomorrow, well, it won't be tomorrow. Maybe tomorrow night, the next day.
Abort all final functions.
One eternity later.
All right, let's just take a good look. So we got our ground here. I'm going to take that off. This wire is run over the top, which it doesn't have to be like that. We got this guy here. We're going to take this off. So part of choke or throttle, and this is maybe the choke here. Right, that will take off once it's loose. We have our fuel line, which we can either take off here. Oh look, somebody didn't put the clamp up on it. So we'll do all of that. I'll just take all this stuff off. This week, I think we can just take it off here and loosen that up. Right, it'll be easier. And this is on the second hole in. At least that's the way it is right now. I'll take all that off. And then after that, I think maybe we want to pull it from here. We could try just taking the carburetor off first and see, rather than do all the rest of it. So I think that's what we'll do, is we'll just work the carburetor off first. And maybe it's right in there, because the throttle was revving up and it wouldn't go down. So maybe it's stuck right there on the throttle blade. If we don't keep fussing with it, we might be able to save it. Let the dissection begin. Oh, I got to get a little container for all of this. Yeah, let me go do that. A little container so I don't lose anything else. Alright, the spring. And the spring is in the second hole here. That's it. Never had the carb off, so I didn't have to. And I didn't want to meet it like this. I was going to rebuild it one day with some fresh parts. All right. Lubricant to hopefully break the seal. Try to keep the gasket. Let's see. Yep, she's coming. Nice and easy. Oh, there's the screw, bros. Let me get you in. Hold on. You know what? Maybe I'll get the other camera. Oh my God, let me go get a magnet. Let me get you in. Okay, bros. Right, this way I don't have like a seizure and like dump it. That's it. That's the offending piece. Oh, fellas. You have no idea. All right, let's go bring this guy in the shop and we'll set up and I'm just gonna kind of peek through the carburetor, clean it off.
Moments later.
All right, like I said, normally I wash everything down first, because I like to use the super clean, get everything nice, but that's not today's job, right? This is emergency surgery here. So we're just gonna start off with a bath. Nothing fancy. Spend a few minutes, fellas. It was working, so it's just, maybe we'll just give it a good cleaning. Let me go do this. Yeah, this is nice. All right, I'll be back in a bit. I'll crack it open. We'll take a peek in there when I'm done. Just blow this off with some, 20, 30 PSI. Don't use any more than that, 15. Just a light blow, and I'm done. And then when we go in, we're going to re-clean with some fresh, a little bit of fresh wash. All right, stand by, because I got to clean all this stuff up. All right. You'll see it more as I work it, but we definitely need to get a gasket kit for this. Somebody has been banging on this bowl, and there's some kind of gasket sealer. Let it focus. See it? You can see it. It's that brown. So we can't take this apart yet. That would be suicide. I need to move this thing. So we want to bring it in anyway, and I still need to use it. So I'm going to locate possibly a bowl and the gaskets for it and whatever else. Let's get all this cleaned off. And we're going to spray out these thread holes. Spray everything out as best we can and not touch it. And put it back. And so I can get it out of the yard and I can still use the machine. Because it's running okay. So we'll get everything cleaned up on the outside. And spray into all the ports. I want to get these holes cleaned up because we're going to put, I don't know what the hell that's in there. But get all that done. It's just dirty, I guess. And that way we'll put a touch of Loctite, blue Loctite, on the threads. We'll clean the bolts too, the screws. Put everything back. See if I can get parts for it. Should be able to. I've seen them around once. It's just unfortunately I just don't have much money. Money is really, really tight. But I would not open that because somebody tried sealing that up. Put a little gasket sealer on this. We're going to need another gasket. Just a little bit on there so that doesn't leak. All right, let's hit it with some gum out. And then I'll blow it. It's not bad inside the carburetor. All right, fill that up a little bit and then let it pee out. Yeah, that's fine. There's nothing wrong in here. And then we'll put it back. Yeah, see this chunk in the threads. At least it'll be clean enough for just a touch of blue Loctite. It's probably grease or something in there, filth. There's a little bit of dirt down in there. Yeah, all right. All right, we'll blow it off. Yeah, it's not terrible. All right, let me blow this off. Put all this gack away. I'll meet you guys back in a bit. I put just a touch of high tack here where just the gasket paper pulled up a little bit, right? And nowhere else. We don't need it anywhere else. Like a mess. Wiped off the excess. It looks really clean. Okay. What is this? All borked. Must have been moving around a lot. We'll clean up the screws in a bit. Let me go mount this, right? And we'll be back. Yeah, we want that bowl. You could see the stuff. You see brown here. Brown all through here. So it could be just silicone somebody tried to paste on there. All right. I just wiped everything off. I put a little no-seize on the bolts there, the studs, and also a little bit on the gasket surface because I just don't want the gasket to get stuck on there, right? And then we'll have to fuss with it. But we should be replacing this gasket next time. Everything else looks okay in here. Looks like it could be a little bit of burning or arcing here in this. I don't know, it's hard to say. We'll get it cleaned off. Before we do it, we'll wash this off next. And probably replace that fuel line, and we'll get in and look a little deeper. All right, let's close it up. What the doggy's doing? What's he doing? He's just wandering around. Where you going, boo? All right. We got to check a few things out first. Everything's on. Well, let me set the camera in. While we're here, because she does drink a little. Oil looks good. I know, I just cleaned it. It's right at the full level. It's been sitting. Yeah, she just a squirt below full. But she's good. Nice and clean, too. All right, we need to check functionality. Okay. So, that's full throttle. We're all the way back. This is some kind of stop. I don't think it's correct. But we'll have to get to that another time. So this is idle. And then the choke, which you probably can't see, is over here. And it's moving. Okay, so we're going to go full choke. Let me get in. We still got to clean up the screws and the bottom plate. Put the brake on. All right, not a lot of safeties here, fellas. Put the brake on. We'll go full choke. She usually takes a bit to start because all the fuel flows back. Oh, there we go. Let's take the choke off. Yep. Carburetor's going to be empty. You want to give it a little help? I got my tranny fluid sauce. It'll smoke a little, but you know, but it'll work. We'll fill the bowl a little. All right, there's no point in tuning it, fellas. There's no point. All right, because we got to come back in here. I see fuel all up in there. All right, I think we're good. Let me put a cover on it. And we'll come back. I'm going to go grab some food, some grub. And we'll come back and I'll clean up all the other parts. And we'll be good to go. A little bit of blue Loctite on the threads. I cleaned the threads good, right, with some solvent, And I'm just going to wash this off real quick. The filter seems to be pretty good. I'll try and get a new one. It's a Kohler filter. We got to measure it. Made in Mexico. Yeah, but it's not bad. If I hold it up to the light, I can see through it. But the pre-filter needs to be clean. And I cleaned the bottom of this and the inside, so that's done. Alright, and yeah. Probably should put little washers on something like that on this, because this is all, like, kind of chewy. I don't know if I have any or not, but a little bit of blue Loctite. Alright, we'll be back. Let me get this stuff finished up. I notice there's a very small shoulder on this bolt here, this screw, you know, up underneath the head. I think what was happening is it was not tightening properly. Kind of mashed the plate a little bit. And these washers definitely helped it to get nice and tight. All right, we're all set. Put this on. Let me go find a spot for it. I kind of made a spot for it, but I'm going to have to shove something out of its way. And we can put it away. Might have just made it in here just in the nick of time. I think I'm running out of gas. This fire. Die. Well, I got some gas in it, but could just be run sloppy. We might have got a little piece of something in the carburetor, but it's cold, so I can put some more gas in it too. We'll let it run another day. Crisis averted.
All right, fellas, crisis averted. That was brutal. Yeah, that was brutal. I think there's just a lot of grease and age, and it looked like there was some grease on it. You know, on those screws, and things are dirty. We will come back to this when I get a chance to figure out. I gotta get some parts. Crisis averted, fellas, and I gotta get back to doing some other stuff. Put her away, and she's nice and safe, and I will find some parts and for the carburetor, and we're gonna have to just open that thing up and take a peek inside. It's probably just glued shut. Right, be my guess. It started to act a little funny when we put it away. Could have got a little piece of dirt in there, a little something. I don't know. I didn't warm it up. Sometimes she'll do that. She needs a tune-up, like at least to clean the plugs again, because it does burn a bit of oil. We did put some good oil in it. We really need to clean out that carburetor, clean the plugs, and then make some adjustments and everything. And she deserves it. So we'll finish up next time. We'll do a little bit of work on it on another episode of Arch's Garage. Thanks for hanging out. Crisis averted, thank God. Right, kiss the ground, kiss the machine. It was so close, fellas. It was so close. Like I said, by the way, I was like, don't run it, just leave it. I was gonna pull it in. I'm like, no. If it's sitting right there, oh my God. I'm glad I just shut it off, walked away from it, put a cover on it, came back to it with a clear head. I'll see you guys later. Where am I? Oh, hold on. I got to put myself back. See you later, Jamie. All I can say is, fellas, no! Because if you dump that screw in there, right? Oh my God, what a nightmare that would have been. Oh, just thinking about it, right? Can you imagine? No, I don't want to imagine. I've seen that happen. That happened to me. When I was in high school, I had to fix A friend of mine had a Nova, 4-door Nova, and I forget what motor was in it, 6-cylinder or something. And we were under a rush, and I guess everybody was drinking, smoking pot, and whatever. And so I guess I dropped the screw in there, but we did. We dropped the screw in, and we had to take the head back off. And it didn't do much, but it went in there. And I think when I was just, you know, I don't think it was actually running. I don't remember, but we had to take it back off and massage everything. But on an engine like that, he goes, no, I'm not signing off. Not yet. But can you imagine, like, that's how close it was. And because it surprised me, and it was at the end of the day, and I'm getting ready to clean up and put stuff away, and I had one more thing to do, which required, I don't know, something to do with the tractor. I don't remember. And I was shot. And then when I moved the throttle out, it revved up, but it came up really high, and I went to push the throttle back, and nothing happened, and I just turned it off. And it really caught me off guard, and I really wanted to move it, and I thought, no. I walked away for a little bit, and I think that's the best thing to do. I think really the lesson here is fellas, whenever anything like kind of weird happens that you don't know what's going on, shut it down, go grab a cold one, walk away, grab a smoke, cup of coffee, kiss the wife, kick the dog, whatever, or kick the wife, kiss the dog, and, you know, just come back to it with a fresh head. Because had I moved that tractor any further, that screw would have went right down into that manifold and hit one of those, whichever one, 50-50 chance of it hitting whichever side, right? And would have blown the motor out. And I'm definitely not in a position to do a motor right now. And I use the tractor a lot, so I would have been down a tractor and with motor issues. And at that point, you got to take the motor out. And it could have really destroyed the motor, like it could have destroyed the cylinder walls. It would have beat the snot out of the heads. I don't even want to think about it. Oh my God, it was so horrible. And I never went into the carburetor. It was never up that far. When I got the thing, it was basically running. But it needed all that other work that I've been doing to it. And I thought, well, that's kind of neat, right? I can actually kind of use the tractor, noodle around with it. It kind of moves under its own power, which is good because it's really freaking heavy. And to move that tractor around, you need something of equal size or bigger, right, to move it around, because that's the tractor also that is assigned to moving around all the heavy crap, including cars. It's actually shoved cars off the property. It towed the VW out of here, and we got it set up to put on the trailer, and it moved a couple other cars, you know, sort of off the property and got ready for getting got. But yeah, wow, just absolutely brutal. You know, so I am very happy that that worked out. I'm not happy that it happened. We'll go back into the carburetor another time. I'll pick up a gasket for it and maybe a new bowl. Let's see, Zipper says, I think you missed an earlier comment I made regarding the Deutz Alice Simplicity. Did I miss it? Where is it? Oh, yes, thank you, yes. I saw, let me go up. Well, I was watching it too, so I wasn't paying attention. Because I haven't actually seen it since I made it. This happened a couple of weeks back. Let's see, where am I? I was vacuum blow test. I'm thinking of painting under the deck. No, that time's black underneath. Oh, Bleach says, I'm thinking of painting the under the deck on the Comet with fat tires and back underneath with red Rust-Oleum. I like red Rust-Oleum, the rusty metal primer. I like that stuff. Get spray undercoating, says. Zippo says. It says, oh, Arch, well, got another Sunstar, but it's a catch and release to a buddy of mine. It's the Deutz Alice 1920 Ultima. Oh, I got to see that episode. Is it up? Is it up? Yeah, I did miss that. Uh-oh, yep. The last thing is the screw bouncing around. Yeah, I missed that. Okay, now I'm caught up, I think. I think you missed it earlier. It says, very happy you dodged a bullet. Yes, thanks, Zip. No episode? What do you mean no episode? No, you can't not have episode. No. No, it's not allowed. Go back and get it. Make one. So, yeah, nice. Catch and release. Yeah, it's going to happen. You know, it's going to happen. You can't have all of them, right? Well, you could try. I know you're trying, right? Because, you know, Zippo's got all of the beans, right? Yeah, try to fit it in a video. Like, sometimes I do that. I just throw stuff in, right? Just throw it in somewhere. You do that. What'd you pay for it? What did you pay for it? Let's see, $300. How's that? Is that close? Probably some low number, right? What are they worth, really? I don't actually know. Like, what is a Sunstar worth today? $20, and that's not a typo. No! Oh my God. I can't imagine. Oh my God. You know, up here, people don't want to pay anything for anything, yet they'll charge you a fortune for everything. It's just horrible. Like, it doesn't make any sense. I can't believe that's unbelievable. You know, it's hot in here, by the way. Open the door or something. I hate opening the door because all the critters come in. Around here, they start at $1,000 to $1,300 and go up depending on overall condition. Wow, that's a lot of money. Yeah, but you have some really nice ones though, so I could see $1,000, $1,300 for some of yours, and not to mention, you also have. Well, I do have the attachments for mine for the front, but you also have some of the ones with the attachments for the back. You got a couple. You got a loader. You got the plow. You got a. Especially some of those, 3-points and whatever you have that are on the back. A bunch of different clutches back there. I remember you doing one where you had one that was like 3,400 RPM and something else, and so they're quite useful. Some of those and different motors. Some of those, depending upon if somebody were looking for, like, say you were selling them and somebody was looking for something particular, you'd be able to set them up with whatever the hell it is that they wanted. Got types 3-points and bolt types of the rear PTOs. Yeah, I've seen that episode, or at least maybe it was a couple of episodes you put. So if you, because I know you do this, like you actually set things up for people. It's like that's the place to go to. If the person was looking for something like a particular application, you'd probably have it, or you could make it. Since all of this stuff is so interchangeable, which, by the way, fellas, those tractors that we're talking about, they're very useful. Like they're actually workhorses, right? They're not lawn. I guess you would consider them to be a lawn and garden tractor, but they're really subcompact tractors. Actually, tractors. And everything is all very useful, and because they kept it mostly the same for quite a number of years, all those implements and things, basically everything you can play. You can take pieces from one and put it on another, and there's all this interchangeability. Yeah, compact, yeah. I don't know if it's in more like the subcompact category, because I was also, from a little bit of research I did, they were often used as like estate tractors. I worked for a guy back in the day. He lived on the North Shore, and he had a big piece of property, and he had a guy that lived there on the estate, and he took care of the whole estate. And he had all the tools in the garage, and all of the implements and everything, and he basically did the estate. And the stories that I heard was the cutting deck was known. Mine has the striping kit, probably most of them do, but it was known for its cut. And a lot of that has to do with the articulating front end that these tractors have, which it's got an extra knuckle up in front. It doesn't just have the bar that goes like this with the kingpins, right? It has the bar that goes like this, plus on the ends where the regular kingpin would go, it has a knuckle that articulates. So when I've actually seen I saw a demo, I should have recorded it. I saw a sales demo of it driving over this weird uneven ground, and it helped keep the whole machine, really the cutting deck, that much more level. And it was known for its like estate grade, not necessarily golf course, but it's estate grade, cut for that really nice lawn that people with this have, right? So it was kind of known for that, and that was kind of its claim to fame, as I understand the story. Oh, that's what I heard, and I was kind of impressed with it when I first thought. I didn't know from Adam. Mikey found it somewhere. It was really big and heavy. It got stuck in the back of his property, and I think I gave him like of the value of about $700 or so. I didn't actually give him cash. I don't think. I think I traded something of the value of between $700 and $1,000 or something. He had to sell the thing that I gave him,
They were about $7,000 new back in the 90s. Yeah. And depending upon what implement setup you got, I understand as much as like around 10 to 11 grand. There's another fellow out on YouTube that has one of the ones with the original dealer installed bucket system and everything, the loader. And he was talking about some of the history of it and where he got it, which was pretty cool too. It's always nice to hear the history on these things from you fellas that managed to get these things and know the history. Mine came from way upstate New York. How it got down here, I don't know. The dealer was way upstate. I think it was used up there for a long time. How it came here, I don't know. I don't even remember how Mikey got it. He's always horse trading with people and stuff. And he didn't really do much to it. It just sort of sat around. And he actually helped me out too with it. Not only did he get it here because it's really heavy because I don't have the equipment to haul it right now, but the implements were off somewhere else, and I had to pay, and he went and did me a favor and collected those. So they came from somebody else who had the tractor at some point as well, and fortunately did not dispose of the implements. So I have those as well. So that took a while. Zipper says yes, if you had the rear lift, rear PTO, dual hydro levers, and a differential lock, you were looking at around $9,500. Wow. Yeah, see, mine has the diff lock on it. It's weird, though. You have to press it down with your heel, but it works. It works good. When I'm shoving tractors up the ramp and everything into here, and I need that little bit more traction, I throw the diff lever, and I have the chains on the back. And even if it's wet and slippery and muddy or whatever back there, it will grab and it will shove whatever I want up here. So, yes, and I did get the Sears Custom in here. Right, so I don't think I'm going to show anything tonight about that. It's getting late. But that's coming soon. So the Sears Custom, you guys saw a teaser of it where I think it was up here or something, and I started working on it, and yeah, I should shut my mouth, right? But I'm going to be doing a video on that. I think what I might do with that video is in another week or two, is actually show it on a live. I'm going to upload it just like I generally do as I upload the videos, but I'm going to play the video from YouTube on a live so I can comment on it. And I'll just won't make it public on YouTube until after the live, kind of do the premiere on a live so I can hang out and chat. And then like a few days later or a week later, I'll just click the button and make that video fully public. Because not that many people see my lives. It's just because, I guess maybe because I'm new at it. Also, they tend to run kind of long. And, you know, most people don't want to click on a video that was alive and ran for 2-3 hours, and they don't want to watch that. So what I found is that, especially because I'm kind of new at all of this and I don't have, like, you know, a real big following or anything, I think the better way to do it is to put something out like that. And rather than just do a regular premiere or whatever, this way I can kind of like hang out more and a little bit longer and chat and stuff. But it was a lot of fun working on that Suburban, and we're not done with it. And you'll see what I did and what I managed to get going, and then what I have plans for the future. It's a mess. I mean, it's an absolute mess. That Zippo, that Suburban or whatever it was you had, was it a week or so ago? I guess, I don't know. I watched 2 of the videos. You were working on starter motors as well. By the way, thanks to that starter motor video. That was pretty cool. And you did a starter motor. It looked like a Suburban. It's basically the same thing, similar. You did the starter motor and you got it running, and you had a wiring issue and a bunch of other stuff. I don't know if you were selling that one or if you were doing it for somebody. I don't remember all of that. Let me catch up. Yeah, so they're technically compact tractors, Zip says, and Zip says subcounts are pretty much in the same arena. Yeah, they were about $7,000 new back in the 90s. Yes, if you had rear lift PTO hydro, you're looking at around $9,500. Sweet, looking forward to that. Did you see that old Sears Craftsman I did a short while back? It's actually half the size of a Suburban. It's tiny, and I'm selling it. You mean that? What color was that? Was that the? I'm trying to think of the color of it. That was the one that I think I commented on too. The one that you did the starter motor for, right? That's small. It didn't look all that small.
It does look different than the Suburban that I have or the Sears Custom that I have. It looks like it has a different beam in the front. It was a pastel yellow. Did I say that one? See that one? Maybe I didn't see that one. I'll have to go back and look. If I'm sitting around tomorrow after I clean the air conditioners, because I have to do my due diligence and satisfy my daughter, because she's like, you need to clean the air conditioners, Dad, and put them in. I'm hot, I'm sticky, and it's too hot. I'm hot. Yep, 8 tires in the back and 4 tires on the front. Nice. Nice. Wow, 8 inches, right? And 4 inches. Wow, this is kind of small. Yeah, the dark gray and pastel yellow. Yeah, that's the one. Yeah. I guess is it smaller? I guess it is. Yeah. Yeah, now that I think about it, it is a little, it looks similar, just not, I mean, I'm not that familiar with them. I don't see them often enough. I joined a Facebook group for the Sears Customs and stuff. You know, it's just the Sears. I also joined like a Craftsman Facebook group. I like some of those groups. They're fun, right? It's like stayed in the dryer too long. Yeah, it's like shrunk down. Like it is a tiny little thing. You'd think, I think is that the one that you mentioned that if for as small as it is, you'd think it would have good steering ratio or whatever and scoot around, but it's actually not. Right? It doesn't have particularly good turning radius. I think that was the one you were talking about. Because it looks like a pretty small machine and you'd think you'd be able to get it in and around, but not if it doesn't have a good turn. Yeah. Horrible turning radius. Yeah, Zip says. Yeah. Yeah, isn't that weird? I guess there's nothing you can do about that. It is what it is. You know, I don't think that they considered a lot of that stuff in the early days. You know, that wasn't something that they were worried about at all. Let me open a window. Just for a second. That's better. I got tons of windows in here, but none of them have, only a couple of them have screens. So I just cracked the door for a little bit. But I can't leave them open too long, because in June, the June bugs fly in, and they're huge. They're like this big. And this time of year, well, yeah, I had a mouse in here recently. Actually, my sister just came to put down one of those, you know, mouse hotels were the ones where they check in but they don't check out. And one was up here. He was like walking across, you know, sit here at night, whatever, watching some YouTube videos, whatever, and I hear this noise, and he comes scooting across the tops of the monitors, jumps on the wire, climbs up the wire into the shelf over here. It's just a nightmare. With, you know, with all the bugs and everything that come in. You just don't want that. They come in from the field. They come in from the fact that my neighbor doesn't cut his lawn often enough, so the grass grows like this high. And, you know, then there's the lake over there, and the weather's been weird. It's been very cool, and they're always looking for something. And my worry is that they're going to get in one of the machines and chew the crap out of it. So, let's see, how long are we up for? Oh, good, we're just under an hour. Good, because I'm going to can it at the hour mark, right? And I'm not going to go too long tonight. This way I can hang out and rest. Plus, I want to go eat a little bit more and do a blood sugar test to see if, you know, where my crazy diabetes is. By the way, Zip, you sounded like you're getting a little bit better. We could hear more of your voice, and it sounded a little bit stronger. And how's everything going with that? I hope it's doing good. It did sound like it was a little bit different, which is good. I forgot to mention something to you. But, you know, stuff like that, when it goes wrong, it takes a while, right? Whatever it is. You know, it's usually whenever we get sick, it's not because of something that happened yesterday. It's something that's been happening for a while. It's just horrible. You know. But, yeah, so I'm going to go, you know, do a little bit more probably to that Jacobson, and I'll poke around with it, which, you know, I'll probably do it. I got a bunch of other machines to fix in YouTube. And I got some other tractors to work on as well. And they're going to take priority. If nobody buys the thing for the money I'm asking for, I'm not going to really come down in price. I don't see the point. My idea was when this guy offered the trade, I thought, well, okay, maybe, you know, I'll offer him $100 for his machine. I'll get like $300 cash, and then I'll let it go. And I think that's like a fair thing. I sold it like last year or whatever for like 300. I didn't ask a lot, and the guy was very happy, really liked the machine, and then he ruined it. I'd say about 400 is about as much as I can get from something like that, because it's not a snapper. People want the snappers. So I have the snapper, and I'm going to fix that one. I'll make it nice, and I'll probably sell that one. I'm just thinking more in terms of, it's like an esoteric value, you know. It's not something you see all that often. Not that many people on YouTube are going to be interested in it, but I'm going to put it up anyway just for the sake of it. I don't care about the views. You can't care about the views all the time. You know, the heck with it. You know, it just, you know, the how-to videos actually starting to make me some money, and that's great. I'm very happy, and I'm very thankful that the channel is growing. But you know, the how-tos are weird because it's a how-to. You have to make a how-to video. It has the sort of, it's the construct of how-to, and I'm trying to get better at making how-to videos, and I want to help people out, but at the same time, like, I want to do something that's like a little bit different. Like you know, you're getting better at it when people start complaining about what you do. And lately, I've had a couple of complaints. This one guy, he was. Let me see if I can show you this. This is funny, right? I think this is funny. Okay, it's like, good. People are complaining about me now. That's good. Right? That's a good thing. All right, let me see. I'll show you this. It's crazy. Let's see here. Let me go find his rant. Let's see. Is this rant here? Let's see. Where is it? Yeah, here it is. Let me show you his rant. Let's go over here. It's the rant. Hopefully you guys could see it. All right. I don't know if you can. I can't blow it up, but he says, so this was comments on the best stand mower on the planet. That's the Honda HRX 217 spring full tune-up and how-to, or any Honda, right? Too much fanboy BS. Absolutely no science. Just conjecture and personal opinion. Got sold on some advertisement. And I think I wrote back, use caps much? So I was like, you know, and it is conjecture because, well, first of all, it was a little bit of a how-to in it, but I was going over the features of the Honda HRX, which to me is kind of neat. Like, I like the Honda HRX a lot. I don't care what other people think. You know, I like it. Here's why I like it, right? It's got the adjustable handle. Mine's got the electric start. It's got a no rust deck. It's got real bearings in the wheels. And I'm going over all of this stuff, you know. It's like, yeah, like they taste like chicken. Oh, yeah. Zilla says, yeah, I love trolls. They taste like chicken. So I was like, yeah, use caps much, dude, you know. It's like, look, it's me. It's my opinion. It does have these features. The 3 bolts on the top, 10 millimeter. You take the top off, you can clean it. It's air-cooled, oil-cooled, air and oil-cooled. One guy says to me, it's not oil-cooled. It's air-cooled. The oil is what splashes around. It's not just the lubricant. It's what hits all of the engine and the cooling fins, and that's how it sheds the heat and gets it out to the atmosphere. But if you pack it with dirt and you don't change your oil, you know, if you pack it with dirt and the engine runs hot, what happens? The engine wears more. Why? Because it's getting too hot. What does it do? What does all that extra heat do to the oil? It ruins it. And when the oil gets ruined, what happens to the engine? Ruins it. So I'm like, 3 bolts, take this off, hose it out, blow it with an air compressor. You're done. 3 bolts, super easy, right? Clean it. Like, for somebody that doesn't know a lot, it's 3 bolts. As opposed to a Briggs that I like, right? But you've got all of these bolts and everything you got to take apart, and a pull start cover and all this stuff, and you got to clean it as you go, and the stuff gets stuck underneath. And like, this is obviously, you know, in that regard, it is easier to deal with. I have to go in there again because the arm loosened up. I've never seen this happen before. Maybe the bolt just loosened up, but there's like a 12-step shutter door so that you can adjust how much you want to bag and how much you want to mulch. And the handle got a little loose. So the first like 2 detents, it slops around a little bit and the door opens a little bit. It's probably a nut or something that got loose because it's mostly metal construction there. I've never had any real problems with it. I love the drive system. It's a really good mower, right? It's also like, I don't know, $800. You know, do I like the other mowers too? Yeah, of course I do, because I go on and on about all these other mowers. So, And also I want to do a video, maybe it'll be a live, but I want to do like a shorter video on a little bit on like what I do to get machines running again, because I subscribe to a bunch of YouTubers that are just starting out, and I didn't say anything, and I don't want to say anything to them because I don't want to be that guy. But they kind of screwed up along the way because they don't follow a routine, and routines are important. You start at point A and you get to Z or wherever you need to go, and the reason for that is that if you miss something, you turn around and you go, oh, I should have checked that. And I didn't, and I went through all these other steps, and I put all this other time into it, and now, all that is for naught. So I wanted to do like a how-to video on something like that, which is useful and helpful. But at the same time, right, I also want to do some different videos for subscribers and people that follow, and just kind of like neat stuff. The thing is on the island, because it's a finite space, it's getting harder and harder to find this stuff. I do see some scrub cadets around. They're around, but people are asking some decent money for them. This one guy, he's got this really nice Cub Cadet, I think with a plow on the front, sitting on his trailer. And for the past year and a half, he's been asking $700 for it. And for the past year and a half, it's been on Marketplace, and it doesn't move. Of course not. He's asking $700 for it. And it's not a real runner. What do I do with my glasses? Let me see, I gotta catch up. It says, yeah, that's a fine line to be constructive criticism and someone taking offense. Yeah, I mean, I don't want to offend anybody because, look, as a YouTuber, I don't care what level you're at. You're taking your time to show somebody something in the best of your ability. And any YouTuber will tell you, when they start out, it's you just don't know what the hell you're doing. Some of us are more gifted than others. Some of us step into shit better. Maybe the content that you step into at the time you step into it is the hot thing, and you're genuinely interested in it, and you step into it. Others struggle for a while, right? But most of the people that are complaining, right, they're not YouTubers. They're just the troll that is mad at you because you're trying to do something and offer it to the rest of the world, and for some reason or another, they're cranky and they need to kind of cut you down a little bit. But it doesn't work right to most YouTubers. It doesn't cut us down because you think that we don't know, what it's like to obviously be under the thumb and like some kind of public eye thing or whatever. Like duh. Like, what are you gonna do? You're gonna hurt my feelings because you didn't like my video? You don't have to like my video. Right? You could shut my fucking videos off and go somewhere else. Right? It's bad. But for people that are starting out, that could be a problem for them. That might actually scare them off and say, you know what, I don't want to do it. Some of my early videos, they're absolute crap. And I'll be the first one to admit it. In fact, I actually got rid of some of them because I was watching them and I'm like, that's crap. That's crap. That's crap. I got to take it. They were like really bad. But, when I first started doing videos, it was really more just to see if I could even just make a video. And as a hobby, because of change of life and other shit that happened to me, and I'm like, I got to do something for fun, right? Let me do this. And I had absolutely no idea what I was doing. It was a piece of crap camera that I had, but I was happy to do it, and I had fun doing it, and I put it out there, and then I would watch myself. And after like a little while of watching, I'm like, wow, that really sucks. I gotta get rid of that. These poor people, right? These poor people that start watching us in the early days, right? I feel bad for them. They're like victims. And I realize that, but then I think back to like I'll give you the quick example, and I'm going to get out of here. Is this one fellow that I was watching before the Ukraine war, right? When now I can't see a lot of these guys. Just some guy, he did a Soviet era motorcycle with a sidecar restoration. And it blew me away, right? The whole, first of all, the restoration that he did was really good. The way that he shot it, right? The whole videography of it, the way he incorporated the shots, it was a master fucking piece. And the interesting thing is that I started watching his channel a little bit before that, and he was trying to bird shit weld some piece of crap on the ground with no lighting. It was horrible. The camera was shit. It was literally every noob thing you could possibly do at the beginning of his channel, he did. It was horrible, but I enjoyed it, and I watched the content, but it was terrible. And then all of a sudden one day, the guy struck gold. Like, he must have realized what he was doing. He did the best he could. He probably bought a little bit better equipment. And at some point, he got to a point where it was like, okay, I think I can do this now. And then he did this Soviet motorcycle and car, and it was such an effing masterpiece. I was watching this, and I was gobsmacked. Like, the whole thing, it was entertaining, it was informative, it was fun. It was an experience to behold, and I'm like, wow, this guy nailed it. And he should be doing really well on YouTube. I don't know if it's even around, if we can even see it, because some of the fellas that were starting to watch my channel, they're just gone. So it's a shame, and you know, that's censorship, and it's terrible, and there's no reason for that, because these people have no interest in anything political, you know, way less probably than I do, you know. So yeah, all right, let me see before I sign off. Let me read this one. One of the most viewed videos, Zip says, videos that feeds my channel very well to this day is actually wrong. I misdiagnosed an engine big time, but I changed the title to reflect my mistake, and it's still popular. Of course, yeah, because we're only human. That's right. In fact, fail videos are a thing. Like, I got this wrong, let's find out why. Great title, right? And that's the hook. And, you know, I show a lot of my mistakes. I don't show all of them, but I show them. I actually don't make a lot of mistakes because I'm old and I've been doing it a while, right? So I tend not to make a lot of mistakes because mistakes are costly and they're painful, and, you know, but I do sometimes, and I show some of them. I have a couple of good videos of doing some stuff where I'm screwing up, but it doesn't happen as often as I'd like. And the other thing too is that all my videos tend to be so damn long-winded that I get rid of a lot of it, and it's still so damn long-winded. You know, I was the kid that in school, when the teacher said you got to write a 200-page essay, and all the kids freaked out because they could barely get past 50 words. I was the idiot in the corner going, oh shit, I just wrote 400 words. How am I going to cut this down to 200? That was always my problem. So I know that going in, and I look at the video stuff that I'm making, and I'm like, I don't know how I can do this. I really don't know how to do this any other way. How do I cut all of this stuff out and still make it meaningful? And one thing I learned is, particularly on the how-tos, is like, don't give it away. Don't give the information away. If you do work on something, it might be, instead of being an hour-long video or a 45-minute video, it might be 2 or 3 20-minute videos and different videos. You know, there might be 3 different things that you're actually doing on a machine, and maybe you just make 3 different videos instead of trying to wrap it all into one. Now, I know some of the fellows that we watch are very good at making hour-long videos. I don't know what their secret sauce recipe is. You know, I don't understand the human mind in that way. I'm kind of stupid like that. You know, I'm a bit weird and avant-garde sometimes, and I look at, you know, people, and I'm like, well, I don't understand how the thinking is. Like, I get it, but I don't know how to think like that. I don't know how to do that, you know. Let's see. Barney says, Zippo says, I'm the Babble King. Most of my subs want the Babble and embrace it. Yeah, you mentioned that the other day, actually, I think. You mentioned that. And I also heard another guy, he said, oh, the other guy I was watching, what's his name? He just had his shop burned down. Oh, my God. I can barely even talk about that because I know what it's like to lose. But he's doing well. What was it? Something Customs. Why can't I think of his name? He's up in Canada. I can't think of it. Anyway, he's like, he puts a lot of music in and he speeds things up. And he goes, I know you guys want me to talk more. He goes, but I'm just not that interesting and I really don't know what to say. Hold on, let me read on. Blarney says, videos of things you get for free and bring back to life do very well. Yeah. Yes, they do, Blarney. They do, yeah. Yeah. The thing is, I don't get things for free. I generally don't. You know, Mike and I work together on stuff, and I get a lot of stuff from him. I do get stuff on trade-in, but that's not free. I don't find a lot of stuff on the road, although I found a nice pressure washer we're going to do. That was free. We're going to do that soon. so I'm going to label that as free. The will it runs, right? I think Zippo mentioned that to one of the fellas that was asking for, like ideas or whatever. And yeah, the will it run, especially for stuff that we do in the small engines or even in the cars, right? If you're starting out, it's probably the best content you can start to embrace if you're a new YouTuber, is just do a simple will it run. Let's just see if it runs. Let's make smoke. Let's make some smoke. Curb finds are very common by you. Yeah, they're not here. They're not. They were for a while, but I don't know. Life is different here now with the inflation and the taxes and everything going up. People are trying to transition and figure out what the hell to do. Like some of the lawnmower sales have gone up to some degree, but at the same time, it's like I'm at the bottom of the feeding pool, right? And it's like, okay, I need to increase what I need to get because my costs have gone up. But when people go to buy a lawnmower, they're thinking, well, you're just selling a lawnmower. We don't care what you do to it. Like, we don't really care. Now, that's not everyone, but there's more of those people that are kind of been coming online lately. I do better with the regular Joe and Jane that whatever, it doesn't matter what color they are. It just matters what like, I want to say income bracket would be better, because this is Long Island. There is no like hard, fast stereotype rule for income bracket. Like, you can't say, well, blacks and white. It doesn't work like that. Everybody's here. It does work by income bracket, though. And that also does not have anything to do with what color or what race you come from. It just doesn't. It goes by income bracket. And there's a certain working class income bracket of people that get it. And they see what I do. And they even say things to me like, when I would tell them stuff like, well, I might think, go down to my brother or whatever. Like, oh, no, you can't leave. I'm like, why can't I leave? I'm like, because we need people like you. Well, that is really nice to hear. That's actually quite nice to hear. And it's a certain income bracket. Where Mikey lives and where Pate lives, where Mikey lives, it's very wealthy, actually. They throw stuff out all the time. And he gets a lot of stuff that way. They throw all kinds of things out. Where Pate lives, it's a little bit different. It's a little bit more money, but they can be very snooty and a pain in the neck. And he incurs their ire, right? And I can tell you that. I know what he does. I know how those people are. Let's see. KCP says, it says, Mike Craftsman, I turned into a Husqvarna in my last truly free rider. Yeah, okay. That's right, because the parts are basically the same. Must be a 917 designated model on the Craftsman. Those are made by Husky. Yeah. This is pretty much like some of the lawnmowers. Like, I tell people, like, this is Craftsman, this is MTD. It says Husky. Well, now, I think now what Husky owns a lot of that. So, but they're not even an American company. Or at least they weren't originally. And most of this stuff is all interchangeable. And if it's not, just use a hammer and a drill. Believe me. A hammer, drill, pair of pressure pliers, and a welder, and everything fits. All right, guys, I got to get out of here. I want to go check my blood. I want to say thank you to everybody for coming and hanging out with me. Tonight was just, I didn't really have anything like totally like a presentation or something stupid or political. I just wanted to kind of hang out with everybody tonight. And I think last week I was too shot. I think last week I just threw in a premiere of the Green Rider. So the Green Rider is gone. The fellow that set me up with the Jacobson, he's now got the Green Rider. He's got a great machine. The thing ran well. I do kind of miss it. It is a cheap machine, but it's a nice machine. So, if you find another one. Oh, and by the way, there was a fellow that hit me up on Marketplace. By the way, I'm back on Marketplace, right? They forgave me all my sins. And I'm back on there. And one of the fellows hit me up. And he was thinking about like a kind of a trade. He has a Green Rider too, but it's a mess. And I think, Casey, you said something, and one of the other fellows said something about the Green Riders, and you often find, it was one of the other fellows, I forget his name, they find the Green Riders, and they're rusty, and sometimes you got to weld them, and whatever. Yeah, that happens. This one was not as nice as the one that I sold, and I haven't heard from him, so who knows, maybe one day I'll hear from him again. I will see you guys on the next one. Everybody have a great rest of the weekend, and if I don't see you through the week, well, then I'll peek in through the window.